Almost there.
Yeah, Paul, I'm gonna give you a call when we're all done. I need to talk to you. So hopefully you got a minute.
Okay, all set.
Bingo. There we are. Paul, I'm gonna give you a call. Hopefully you got a minute. All right. Good evening, everyone. And all our Facebook viewers this evening. We actually only have one first reading this evening, no second, third, or pending. So we're going to go into our committee. And hey, Jim, here we go.
Okay, welcome. We'll open a finance committee at 6:02 in the evening. And our legislation is resolution 21R32, a resolution to add one full-time police officer to the new Franklin Police Department and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage. This would bring us from 15 full-time officers to 16. And I believe we have Captain Bickett here with us to give us some more information. So take it away.
Okay. Hey, good evening. Yeah, we're requesting one more full-time officer. Our last two full-time hires came from our part-time pool, and we've had a hard time replacing those part-time officers. We're just not getting the applications or the quality of applicants that we're looking for. Around the county, and really Northeast Ohio, there's a big hiring push right now for police officers, for full-time police officers. So people coming in here looking for a part-time job that, we're just not seeing those applicants anymore. They're getting full-time jobs either with Akron or Summit County. I know Medina's hiring and Worcester. All these places are hiring full-time officers. So, we're having a hard time replacing the part-time ones that we're losing. On top of that, the part-time officers that we do have are actively being recruited or in the hiring process of other places. So we're kind of down, and we're kind of trying to secure a full-time officer so that we don't have the turnover at the part-time ranks. Right now, on a weekly basis, we have, without any days off or any training or injuries, we have 10 full-time or 10 part-time positions that need filled, just based on our staffing. But on average, there's about 18 shifts a week that is filled by a part. So this full-time 18 down to. So that's the need. We're not seeing the part-time applicants, and we're not getting people in here that want to work part-time because there's full-time jobs out there for them.
Okay. I certainly understand your position, and this is I think it's going to be the future for us, not just police department, but for the fire department also. It's going to continue to be tough to, as Captain Bickett was saying, to get part-time officers, and that's going to be the case with most industries, not just our police and fire, but throughout the country and many industries. The number of people that want to work part-time versus the number of people that want full-time and full-time positions that are available. We may have to rethink our hiring and personnel processes in both departments in the near future, and what our staffing is and what staffing we can afford. So this is a first step. I think it's an important first step, and I fully back it. Mr. Mayor, do you have comments for us? Mr. Mayor, do you want to unmute yourself?
All right, if I must, and I think we've all seen it. I just read an article this weekend, a pretty intensive article about the problem nationwide, not just locally, with the recruitment of police officers in general. And the sheriff of Los Angeles saying they're in dire need, for instance, and it went around the state. So I certainly support, and we would like to, if council's behind this, address this tonight on a first reading so that we could get the advertising out there and get moving on the recruitment process before we lose any more part-timers.
I also, I'm in favor of this evening, waiving this, if it comes to that.
Other comments?
This lady has been with us for quite a while. Am I correct?
Well, we don't, I mean, that could be a potential candidate, but we don't, we're going to advertise and it'll be open positions. And
Okay, so
we do have
anybody can
several.
apply for it?
Yes, she can apply.
Cruiser wise, that we won't have a need to purchase another cruiser. We should have
No,
enough.
no.
Okay.
The intent is to hire from our part-time pool. We have some really good candidates, and they're already kind of in the mix for the rotation for the cruisers.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Again, please keep in mind that I think in the near future, we're going to have to make some hard decisions budget-wise for our police and fire and start looking at new staffing levels that'll include more full-time people, because that's probably going to be the way we're going to have to staff in the future. So I'm also along with Mr. Stock in favor of waiving the 3. If there are any other comments or concerns, we'll ask to waive the 3.
Right.
And that closes our finance committee at 6:08. Thank you for attending.
Thank you, Jim. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to talk about in their committees? All right, if not, we're going to go ahead and call to order the City of New Franklin Council meeting this Wednesday, May 5th at 6:08. I'd like to stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for
for
which it
which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Get a roll call, please.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
Yes.
Mrs.
Here.
Jones,
Yes,
How about here?
Mr.
Yes, we're getting a lot of yeses. We're all here. I'm sorry.
Mr. Fetterman,
Here,
Mr. Hawk,
Here.
Mr. Stock.
Here. Thank you. I'd like to make a motion that we approve our minutes from the regular scheduled meeting of April 21st, 2021.
second,
You got a first and second, any discussion on the minutes? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hargit,
Yes.
Mrs. Jones,
yes,
Mr. Fetterman,
yes,
Mr. Hawk,
Yes.
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Go to our public comment.
Anything? Sure.
I have nothing. Katie, missing anything?
Not that I can see. I think you're clear.
All right, good. All right, again, we only have this one first reading tonight. We're gonna read resolution number 21-R-32, Kelly.
A resolution to add 1 full-time police officer to the New Franklin Police Department and declaring that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage.
This resolution is assigned to the Finance Committee. We move to waive the 3 readings on Resolution 21-R-32.
Second.
We have a first and second roll call, please.
Mr. Fetterman,
yes,
Mr. Hawk,
Yes.
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
yes,
We move to adopt Resolution 21-R-32.
second,
second,
First and second, any further discussion, questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fetterman,
yes,
Mr. Hawk,
Yes.
Mr. Stock,
Yes.
Mr. Cotts,
Yes.
Mr. Hargit,
Yes.
Mrs. Jones.
yes.
Thank you. That passes 6-0. Again, no second, third, or pending. Again, our most favorite part of the meeting. We have the mayor's report, Paul.
Here we go. Detour almost over. We thought it might be done a little sooner, and then the weather intervened, but I was advised by Aqua and Wenger that they fully intend to have the road reopened at the end of the business day on Friday. So, and I have not heard anything to the contrary since then. I got that yesterday morning. So looks like we're on pace there, and they've done some of their testing. And there is now water. They've tested it all the way up to 93 in Renninger. So that's a good thing. Dispatch, their last day here in this building will be Monday, May the 10th. And we're having a little get together for them from 2:30 to 3:30. I know a lot of you, your schedules won't permit that, but if you got time, stop by. They shift change at 3, so we start at 2:30 for the ones that would come in at 3 and for the night shift, and then we'll go on to 3:30 when the first shift gets off at 3. We plan to have a little something for them, and there'll be some cake and some snacks. And if you get a chance, please come by. I don't mean to trivialize that at all. They've given fabulous service to the citizens here of New Franklin, and top notch. So it's kind of a sad day, but it's a happy day because the next day, all of the ones who applied were accepted at the SS COG, and they'll all go to their first day of work the following day. The budget, from the budget standpoint, there was an interim budget of $200,000. New Franklin contributed their share, which came out to $81,600. The budget now was approved by the COG board last Wednesday for the balance of this year. $1,109,831. New Franklin's share of that will be $423,719. So that's what the dispatch cost will be for the balance of the year. That's going to be broken into 2 installments, and that first installment, $211,859. I'll have a resolution at our next meeting for that amount. The total projected budget is 1.3 million. They figure that's what it'll be next year, and that's right on point with what the projections were. And if that's the case, New Franklin's share will be somewhere in the range of $541,000. So it's and there's a lot of first-time expenses folded into that as well. So and final thing I'll say about that, there's been an enormous amount of work done by our police chief and assistant chief, Steve Leslie and Tim Young, and our fire, and our police chief, Dan Davidson, and Captain Bickett. An enormous amount of work, everything from the IT to the health insurance to the CAD to the leads. It's been a lot of work, and these folks have done a fabulous job taking us to this point. So we're looking forward to that. The Nets committee met again and came to final decisions passed along to Kevin Noble as to the tennis and pickleball court project. And Kevin is putting the bid package together. I'll have a resolution next week, 2 weeks from now, asking council to approve sending this thing out for bids. Really hard to guess where they're going to come in, but we're thinking it's probably going to be about $600,000. As I indicated, we already have $150,000 dedicated out of the parks for that, and the parks has that revenue comes in each year, has to be used for parks. The charter actually talks about it being used primarily for capital projects, and as it has been indicated the last couple of times, the Parks Commission has determined that this is the project they want to focus on to get this put together and get it built. A lot of enthusiasm in the community, I can tell you that. From those people that we've reached out to, and the tennis people and the pickleball people. So they're very, very, very appreciative. This thing, these were on this is from the beginning of Sisler, tennis courts were on the plan. And now it looks like it's going to come to fruition. So we'll have some legislation in 2 weeks on that. The short-term rental ordinance is sort of on hold, but I will get back with council and with the council people that have been working on that, and see if we can put something in a form that's that we can get before council for discussion. We'll have that for you as soon as we can. I had several, meaning more than 2 people who live on Sturgeon, which runs parallel to Catalina, which, full disclosure, it runs into the street I live on. who are interested in a speed sign. And they feel that it's been effective over on Catalina, and they think they're getting a little bit more of the traffic. And so I will get with Brian, and we'll see about, we put that in there thinking that maybe we'd move it. Maybe it's time to buy another one. I don't want to ring the bell for everybody to say, hey, they're speeding on our street, because I'm sure there is, but we really don't hear as much. So, but I'm hearing from these folks. So we'll move on that. Possibly think about purchasing another one of these movable signs. Possibly thinking about moving the one from Catalina, but I'm not inclined to do that. And then we'll wait to hear from anybody else. As you know, Pearlman was the other one that when we first talked about Catalina, that we were advised most of the complaints came on, and it does appear that stop sign that you guys that we put in there is working at Harder Home and Pearlman. So even though they're not statutorily designed for speed control, it seems to have worked to that effect over there. And we have had no complaints about that up here, about that stop sign being in that location. Kungle Road Bridge. Norton is making another application for Ohio Public Works Emergency Fund, and they expect to know by the end of June. Now, we've got also floating around, well, we had a lot of encouragement from Senator Rogner that there might be a separate bill for that. That didn't happen, but I've got them to ring my bell as soon as they file the application with OPWC. Exactly. Thank you, Jim. I'm going to start pestering Senator Rogner and Representative Romer to see if we can. That is the quickest fix we can get. If they approve that by the end of June, the money would be forthcoming in July and done deal. If not, then we're going to go to plans B, C, D, and E. And we got Representative Gonzalez also. They have submitted that. As one of their requests for the 16th district, but those funds, if it's approved, it doesn't look like those funds would be there until the following year. So I don't really want to count on that. And finally, a word you all love to hear me say, Benner Road. We got yet another. That's a $1 million project. And we were one of the few that the Ohio Bridge Program, we got the funding, the 80 or 85% funding, over $800,000. And that left a share of $145,000 for New Franklin out of this $1 million project. Well, we made a separate application to OPWC for as much as that as we could get, and we have been awarded, we received that grant. We've received notice that that we're getting it $77,000. So that's going to bring our share down to $68,000 out of this $1 million bridge. And we still going to rattle the engineer's cage one more time to see if we can get a little bit of money out of them on this. So that's really good news. It appears that money will be, everything's done on it, and the design and everything. So the money gets, I think it July 1st, Josh Schlaga told me, and they're planning on then going right into construction. So that bridge ought to be completed, by fall. So all good stuff. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. I don't know. Are you just better at getting that money than the Norton mayor? I don't know. You seem to make it all happen a lot faster.
We've been blessed.
Yeah. So anyhow, we appreciate that. All right. Finance, Susan.
Jeremy, everything is same old here. We're in that time of the year that we're working on our gap financial, and then as soon as that's complete, we'll be working on the audit. So nothing new really to report here.
All right. Thank you, Susan. Old business? Anybody, old business going?
A couple things. First of all, as the mayor mentioned with the dispatch and moving to the COG, and I agree with what you said, Paul. Our dispatch team has been absolutely fantastic. We've received letters. I've seen comments on Facebook numerous times of people so appreciative of the people they talk with when they call in. the demeanor, the caring. They genuinely feel that caring. I'm sure it will carry on to the COG, but the dispatch people we've had and the people running that section for us have just been fantastic for the city, and really just promotes the city at a time when people are struggling for whatever reason, and they have done an excellent job, and I certainly appreciate it. I'm sure all of us really appreciate the job they've done for the city of New Franklin. You brought up Sturgeon and possible speed control there, and I don't disagree with helping out citizens in a street that might have an issue. When we did Catalina, we did traffic studies. We counted cars. We measured the speed of the cars on there. There was a petition drive where I believe 99 or 100% of the residents on Catalina signed a petition asking for it. Again, I'm not opposed to helping out any road, any neighborhood in the city, but we went through a pretty extensive time with Catalina to make that decision, and having 3 or more citizens say, hey, there's a problem. I think we should take the time to go through the same process like we would do for any street where our residents have a concern. And so I like to see us, put on the brakes as such, and make sure we're doing our due diligence before we just, jump into it and then, have to jump into other ones. So.
That's a good point, Mr. Kotzen. I'll follow through in that regard. We'll start with the speed study.
Okay. Speaking of pickleball, any updates on Lakeside Park?
Yeah, we had, it turned out they thought that the surface was going to be sufficient. And once we got through the winter, it wasn't. There is a kind of a clear coat sealer that can be applied that will make it not just playable, but really top notch. And so that has been ordered. And when it comes, we're going to apply it, and we'll get those courts open as quickly as we can.
Fantastic.
Everything else we have, we got the nets, the posts, the paint.
Excellent.
So we just got to finish the surface.
Before we have the grand opening ceremony there, is it possible to look at replacing one or both flags at the park? The state flag there is very faded. The American flag is driving by at less than 35 miles an hour, Captain Bickett. I couldn't really tell if the American flag is in good shape or not, but definitely the state flag needs to be replaced there.
We'll check those.
Okay, we have a place on Manchester Road most of you are familiar with, Gather at the Lakes. They're an event center that's connected to the same building as Lala's. Erin at Gather at the Lakes has, last year when we had a blood drive, City of New Franklin, she volunteered her space and did a great job helping us with that. And then she's jumped on her own and continue to have blood drives there at Gather at the Lakes. She has another one coming up next week on Thursday. We need people to come in, fill those spots. She's had 2 or 3 other ones already this year, and they filled up. So we want to keep that going for New Franklin. And you can go to redcrossblood.org, punch in the zip code, and then scroll down to find the location for Gather at the Lakes and set your appointment. Of course, all the COVID standards are followed. It's the Red Cross, so they're doing everything properly. If you donate before May 15th, which this one falls into, you'll receive a $5 Amazon gift card. So that's a little incentive. So again, it's Thursday, a week from tomorrow. There's plenty of slots available. So please tell your friends, everybody get together, come in a big party bus. No, you have to make appointments. And there's slots available. So please get out there, take the time, give a little blood, help everybody out. 1 pint of blood saves, I don't know, 600-700 people. I think, no, it's not that many, but it goes a long way, and it really really helps. And of course, with all the COVID things going on, the blood shortage remains. So anybody can, that wants to, please get out there and please go to redcrossblood.org and sign up for one of those available appointments. And I think that's all I have.
All right, thanks, Jim. Anybody else for old business? Andrea just texted me. She has been fighting the internet, so I told her we were almost done and with no executive session, so she has reached out to me. All right, how about new business? Any new business? All right, public questions? Don't got a whole lot of action tonight, do we, Katie?
Oh, sorry. I think I have a slow connection, but no, nothing.
All right. All right, then, no need for executive session.
No.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
I-
Aye. All right, ayes have it. Good seeing everybody.
Thanks,
See
everybody.
ya.
Thank you.
See you in
Bye.
a couple weeks. Enjoy.
Bye.
Good night.